talk about changing our lives, we often think about these grand gestures, these sweeping changes that come with big decisions and dramatic moments. But I've learned something in my years of working with people and watching the ones who succeed and the ones who struggle. It's not the big things that make the biggest difference. No, it's the small things. The little habits, the little choices we make every day. See, if we're looking to change our lives in a big way, we have to start with the small. Because the small habits, the ones we often overlook or dismiss as insignificant, compound over time. And let me tell you, the results of compounded effort are extraordinary. You won't even recognize your life after you've been practicing these small habits long enough. One day you'll look around and you'll be living the life you've always dreamed of. And all because of the small things. Now I want you to think about this for a second. What if you could change your life just by changing 10 small habits? Doesn't sound too overwhelming, does it? 10 little things. 10 things you can start today that could transform your future. See, that's the beauty of habits. They don't require some monumental shift in your schedule or a sudden stroke of luck. You can start them right now, wherever you are, with whatever you have. So, what are these small habits? What are these things that, if you make them part of your daily routine, will change your life forever? We're going to go right down the list, so make sure you jot this down. First habit, reading. Now, you might be thinking, Jim, I don't have time to sit down with a book every day. But listen closely. Reading is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. And I'm not just talking about any reading. I'm talking about reading with a purpose. Reading something that stretches your mind, that expands your thinking, that introduces you to new ideas and possibilities. What you feed your mind is just as important as what you feed your body. I'm telling you, reading is not just a pastime. It's a gateway. It opens doors to new ideas, to new ways of thinking, to new opportunities. When you make reading a daily habit, you're feeding your mind with knowledge, wisdom, and perspective. You see, most people are hungry for success, hungry for growth, but they aren't feeding their minds with the nutrients that success needs. Success requires a sharp mind, a mind that is constantly learning, constantly growing, constantly stretching. And the easiest way to feed your mind is through reading. Think about it like this. Every time you pick up a book, you're holding a piece of someone's life work. Their thoughts, their experiences, and their wisdom. What a powerful concept. Instead of waiting years to learn something on your own, you can absorb a lifetime of lessons in just a few hours. Now, I'm not saying you need to read for hours every day. Even 10 or 15 minutes of intentional reading each day adds up. Over time, that knowledge compounds, just like interest in a savings account. And that compounding knowledge, that's the stuff that changes your life. It changes how you see the world, how you solve problems, and how you approach challenges. But here's the key. You must be selective about what you read. Not every book is worth your time. You don't want to waste your precious moments on gossip or fluff. Instead, choose books that will challenge you, that will expand your mind, that will make you think. Whether it's biographies, self-development, or books on business strategy, pick something that aligns with where you want to go. Because where you want to go in life depends on what you're feeding your mind today. The ideas you let into your mind will shape your future. So make reading a daily, purposeful habit, and you'll start to notice the change in your thinking, your decisions, and ultimately, your life. Next, what do 99% of successful people have in common? They have a journal, and they use it daily. It's one of those habits that doesn't get enough credit. Writing things down, especially your thoughts, your goals, your dreams, there's something powerful about it. It's almost like magic. When you put your thoughts on paper, they become more real. They're no longer just swirling around in your head, causing confusion or anxiety. Instead, they're in front of you, clear and tangible. It gives you a sense of control. You can now see the problem or the idea for what it is. And once you see it, you can start to figure out how to solve it or make it happen. Writing things down is like giving your mind a breath of fresh air. What happens when you don't keep a journal? When you don't write things down, everything stays cluttered in your mind. You walk around with a million thoughts, ideas, worries, and plans floating around. And it's exhausting. Your brain is trying to hold on to everything and it can't. But when you sit down with a pen and paper, you offload all that mental clutter. It's like cleaning out a messy room. Suddenly, everything feels more organized. You can think more clearly, plan more effectively, and focus on what truly matters. It doesn't take long either. A few minutes of journaling each day can make a massive difference. Here's something else about journaling. It helps you track your progress. Life gets busy, and it's easy to forget how far you've come or how much you've accomplished. But when you make it a habit to write down your thoughts and goals regularly, you create a record of your journey. And let me tell you, there's nothing more motivating than looking back at your old entries and realizing how much you've grown, how many challenges you've overcome, or how many of your dreams you've already achieved. So start small. Set aside 5 or 10 minutes each day to write. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be profound. Just let your thoughts flow, and you'll start to see the difference in your clarity, focus, and personal growth. Next, you have to set your goals. That's where the rubber meets the road. I always say that if you don't set goals, you're like a ship without a sail. You might be moving, but you're drifting. You're going wherever the wind takes you, and that's no way to live. You see, goals give you direction. They give you something to aim for, something to strive toward. And when you have a clear target in mind, you stop wasting time on things that don't matter. Instead, every action, every decision, every choice you make moves you closer to where you want to go. That's the power of goal setting. Most people think setting goals is something you do once a year, maybe on New Year's Eve. But let me tell you, goal setting is something you should be doing every day. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish today? What's one thing, just one, that, if you achieved it today, would make a difference in your life? Write it down. That's your target. Now your mind knows what to focus on. You've given it a job to do. And believe me, your mind loves having a job. It will go to work figuring out how to achieve that goal. But here's the thing. Your goals have to be specific. Vague goals lead to vague results. You can't just say, I want to be successful, or I want to get fit. What does success look like? What does fitness mean to you? The more specific you are, the more focused your actions will be. Break your big goals down into smaller, actionable steps, and then tackle them one by one. When you make this a daily habit, setting small, clear goals each day, you'll be amazed at how much progress you make over time. And before you know it, those small daily wins will add up to massive achievements. Or make sure that you're writing down your goals. Next, feeding your mind will do wonders. But here's what we can't forget. You also must feed your body, and feed it good. Exercise is one of those habits that people either love or avoid. But let me tell you, it's one of the most important habits you can develop. And it's not just about physical fitness. Sure, exercise keeps your body healthy, but more than that, it sharpens your mind. It boosts your energy, your focus, your mood. When you move your body, you're telling yourself, I'm alive, I'm capable, I'm strong. And that mindset carries over into every other area of your life. You see, there's a direct connection between how you feel physically and how you perform mentally. When you're in good shape, when your body is strong, your mind is sharp. You handle stress better. You think more clearly. And you have the energy to tackle the challenges that come your way. That's why making exercise a habit is so crucial. And I'm not talking about hours at the gym or some grueling workout routine. It doesn't have to be that complicated. A 20-minute walk, some light stretching, a bit of strength training, whatever works for you. The key is consistency. It's better to do a little bit every day than to push yourself too hard once a week and burn out. And here's another thing about exercise. It's a great metaphor for life. When you push through the discomfort, when you keep going even when it's tough, you build resilience. You train yourself to keep going, to not give up. That's a lesson you can apply to anything you want to achieve. So make exercise a daily habit. Move your body every day, in whatever way feels good to you. Not only will you feel better physically, but you'll also find that you have more mental clarity, more focus, and more drive to go after your goals. Next, gratitude. This is one of those habits that's often overlooked because it seems too simple. But let me tell you, gratitude is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. You see, what you focus on expands. If you focus on what's wrong, on what's missing, on what you don't have, guess what? You'll get more of that. But if you focus on what's good, on what's working, on what you do have, you'll start to notice more and more things to be grateful for. And that shift in perspective can change your entire life. Gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's about training your mind to see the positive in every situation. When you make it a habit to focus on the good, you start to attract more good into your life. It's like a magnet. Gratitude changes your energy. Instead of walking around feeling frustrated or lacking, you start to feel abundant, fulfilled, content. And when you're in that state of mind, you're more open to opportunities, more open to new ideas, and more open to the possibilities that life has to offer. So how do you make gratitude a habit? It's simple. Every day, take a few moments to reflect on what you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe it's the fact that you woke up this morning. Maybe it's a kind word from a friend. Maybe it's the sunshine or the roof over your head. Whatever it is, take a moment to appreciate it. Write it down if you can. And over time, you'll start to notice a shift in your mindset. You'll start to see more and more things to be grateful for. And your life will feel richer, more abundant, and more joyful. Next, rest. Most of us get going in the morning and don't stop until we're walking to our bed like a zombie. Rest is something that's become undervalued in our fast-paced world. We're constantly on the go, always striving for the next goal, the next achievement. But here's the thing. Without rest, without recovery, we burn out. Our minds and bodies need time to recharge, to process, to heal. When you push yourself too hard, when you neglect rest, you're not doing yourself any favors. In fact, you're limiting your potential. Rest isn't just about sleep, although sleep is incredibly important. It's about giving yourself time to step away from the noise, the stress, the constant demands of life. It's about allowing your mind to wander, to dream, to relax. You ever notice how your best ideas come to you when you're not trying to think of anything? Maybe you're in the shower, or out on a walk, or just sitting quietly. That's because your mind needs space. It needs those moments of stillness to connect the dots, to solve problems, to spark creativity. We live in a culture that glorifies hustle. Everyone's talking about grinding, about working 24/7, about being busy. But let me tell you something. It's not about how hard you work. It's about how smart you work. And part of working smart is knowing when to step back, when to rest, when to recharge. Your brain is a powerful tool, but it needs downtime to function at its best. So make it a habit to prioritize rest. Whether it's taking a short break during the day, scheduling time for relaxation, or getting enough sleep at night. Rest will not only improve your productivity, but also your overall quality of life. Now, rest isn't just about sitting still. It's about giving your mind and body a chance to recover. Maybe for you, rest looks like meditation or a quiet walk in nature. Maybe it's spending time with loved ones or engaging in a hobby that brings you joy. Whatever it is, make sure you're building moments of rest into your daily routine. And here's the beautiful thing. When you rest, you come back stronger. Your mind is sharper, your energy is higher, and you're more creative. So, don't buy into the myth that rest is a luxury or that it's a sign of weakness. Rest is a necessity, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have for achieving your goals. Next habit. This was a hard one to learn. I always wanted to, but I used to think that I couldn't afford it. The next habit is giving. This is one of those habits that can change not only your life, but also the lives of the people around you. There's an old saying, the more you give, the more you receive. And it's true, but not in the way most people think. See, giving isn't just about material things. It's about giving your time, your attention, your energy, your kindness. When you make it a habit to give to others, you open up a flow of abundance in your own life. It's almost like a law of nature. The more you put out into the world, the more comes back to you. But here's the key. Give without expecting anything in return. When you give from a place of genuine generosity, without looking for a reward, you create a sense of fulfillment that can't be matched by anything else. And here's what I've learned over the years. The people who give, who really give, are the ones who seem to have the most. They have an abundance of love, of joy, of success. It's not just about giving money, although that's one way to contribute. It's about giving of yourself, your talents, your time. Maybe it's mentoring someone, volunteering, or simply being there for a friend who needs you. And don't forget, giving also includes giving to yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. So make sure you're taking care of your own needs, filling yourself up so that you have even more to give to others. And as you make giving a habit, you'll start to notice something amazing. The more you give, the more opportunities come your way. It's almost like the universe recognizes that you're creating value, and it wants to reward you for it. So make it a daily practice to ask yourself, how can I give today? How can I make a positive difference in someone's life? And watch how your own life begins to flourish in return. Next, you got to start listening. Listening is another one of those habits that has the power to transform not just your life, but your relationships as well. You see, most people think they're good listeners, but in reality, they're just waiting for their turn to speak. Listening, truly listening, is a skill, and it's a habit that can change your interactions with everyone around you. When you listen, you show respect. You show that you value the other person's thoughts, their opinions, their feelings. And that kind of respect, it builds trust. It strengthens relationships. It opens doors. But here's the thing. Listening is more than just hearing the words someone is saying. It's about understanding. It's about being fully present in the moment. When someone's talking to you, don't just nod your head and think about what you're going to say next. Stop. Really listen. Pay attention to their body language, to their tone of voice, to the emotions behind their words. And when you do, you'll find that people open up to you more. They trust you more. They value your opinion more. That's because you've given them the gift of your full attention. And in today's distracted world, that's a rare and precious gift. Now, here's the beautiful part about listening. It's not just about the other person. When you make listening a habit, you become wiser. You learn more. You understand people and situations on a deeper level. And that understanding, that's powerful. It helps you make better decisions, solve problems more effectively, and connect with people in a way that's meaningful. So start practicing the habit of listening today. It doesn't take much. Just a little more focus, a little more intention, and the benefits you'll reap from it, both personally and professionally, will be immense. Next, learn to be patient. Patience is one of those things we all know we need, but rarely practice. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want everything now. Success, results, recognition. But here's the truth. Anything worth having takes time. It takes effort. It takes patience. And if you can cultivate the habit of patience, you'll find that life becomes a lot less stressful, a lot more enjoyable. See, most people give up too soon. They quit before they see the fruits of their labor. But the people who succeed, they're the ones who are willing to wait. They're the ones who understand that the best things in life don't happen overnight. Patience doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means taking consistent action, day in and day out, while trusting that the results will come in time. It's about believing in the process, even when you don't see immediate progress. Think about a seed. You plant it in the ground. You water it. You care for it. But for a while, it looks like nothing's happening. There's no visible growth. But under the surface, that seed is starting to sprout. It's developing roots. It's preparing for the moment when it will burst through the soil and grow into something beautiful. That's how success works. The roots of your efforts are growing, even when you can't see them yet. So how do you develop the habit of patience? Start by shifting your mindset. Instead of expecting instant results, focus on the long game. Remind yourself that great things take time, and that the work you're putting in now will pay off in the future. And in the meantime, find joy in the process. Celebrate the small wins along the way, and trust that with patience and persistence, you will achieve your goals. Patience, my friends, is a superpower. When you master it, you master the art of staying calm, focused, and committed, no matter how long the journey takes. Next, you have to make sure that you're spending time with the right people. This is one of the most important habits you can cultivate. You've heard me say it before. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your environment shapes you. It influences your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs. If you surround yourself with negative, small-minded people, it's going to be incredibly difficult to rise above that. But if you surround yourself with positive, ambitious, growth-oriented people, their energy will lift you up. It will push you to be better, to do more, to reach higher. Now, I know this isn't always easy. Sometimes the people in our lives, the ones we've known for years, aren't the best influences. But you have to make a choice. If you want to change your life, you have to be willing to change your environment. And that means being intentional about who you spend your time with. Seek out people who inspire you, who challenge you, who believe in you. People who are on the same path of growth and self-improvement. These are the people who will help you reach your goals, who will encourage you when times get tough, and who will celebrate your successes with you. And here's the thing, this isn't just about what others can do for you. It's also about what you bring to the table. Be the kind of person who lifts others up. Be the kind of friend, colleague, or mentor who inspires others to be their best. When you surround yourself with the right people and you bring your best self to the group, magic happens. Ideas flow, opportunities arise, and everyone grows together. So take a look at your circle. Are the people around you helping you become the person you want to be? If not, it might be time to make some changes. Because your environment will either lift you up or pull you down. And you have the power to choose which one it will be. Now, these 10 small habits might seem simple on the surface, but let me tell you, they have the power to change your life in ways you can't even imagine. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about starting small, making little adjustments in your daily routine, and staying consistent. Over time, those small habits will compound, and you'll start to see the results. And before you know it, your life will look completely different than it does today. So don't underestimate the power of small habits. Start today, even if it's just one habit. Then continue to work the rest of the habits into your day-to-day. and watch how your life changes forever.